Oh my god, I can't believe this is actually happening. Today the Wacky Watch site updated, and now there's a short, signal lost video on it. And honestly, I'm 100% convinced this is hinting at something related to episode 5. And considering the Special Murgadrones Camp plushie bundle sale ends in just a week, meaning we probably won't get any new MD posts anytime soon, it totally makes sense that all the focus is shifting back to the digital circus. Like I said earlier, the episode 5 release is expected on June 20th, which means we're just days away from the trailer finally dropping. Once the trailer's out, we can definitely expect daily updates leading up to the premiere. Based on everything we've seen so far, I'm more than confident that the trailer will drop on June 6th. But even if that doesn't happen, don't stress too much, because the latest it could come out is June 13th. So yeah, not long now. As always, I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments. And now let's move on to one very interesting topic. We all remember that the upcoming episode is going to be evenly split between Jax and Ragatha, which likely means the original plan to focus solely on Ragatha in episode 5 has been scrapped. But trust me, you're still going to learn a lot more about her, especially considering how episode 4 showed us a whole new side of Ragatha, while leaving plenty of major secrets still completely unexplained. So let's dive right into what might happen with Ragatha in episode 5. Ragatha has long seemed like one of the kindest and most positive characters in the digital circus, yet, unfortunately, she spent 95% of the time in the shadows. Almost no one paid attention to her until episode 4, after which her personality sparked incredible interest among the audience. And given that the upcoming episode will focus on her, the anticipation of what will happen to Ragatha in episode 5 only grows stronger. Spoiler, you certainly don't expect it. We'll analyze her behavior, the events surrounding her, and of course, her role and the full revelation of all her secrets in episode 5. Initially, all the attention was directed at Pomni, even in episodes where other characters were supposed to take the spotlight. Episode 4 broke this trend, meaning episode 5 might very well open with a scene involving Ragatha and Gangle, as hinted in the previous episode. This may seem unrelated until you consider that episode 4 actually revealed the secret that episode 5 would center around sports. Most likely, after her words and actions in episode 4, we will witness Ragatha's deep remorse. After all, no matter what, she still wants to appear as a kind-hearted character. Episode 5 will gradually, through the lens of repentance, unveil the whole truth about Ragatha, who will have to earn forgiveness not only from Gangle.
Why are you even the boss anyway? I feel like I'm way more responsible than you.
A team works much better when we're all giving it 110% instead of, 5.
No offense, but you're kind of annoying when you have your happy mask.
But also from Zooble. Despite Zooble's willingness to help Ragatha, her memory of the disgraceful behavior that could have seriously endangered both of them still lingers.
I made like 5 or 6 of them.
Cool, that's 6 out of 300.
Ugh, you are such a grouch. Why are you always being a grunch?
Throughout all the previous episodes, it seemed like Ragatha had chosen Pomni as her best friend. She went out of her way to help Pomni settle in during the pilot episode, did everything she could to lift her spirits in episode 2, and continued her supportive behavior in episode 3.
This place is spooky. I wonder how hard Kane's gonna go with the scare factor.
I hope this adventure doesn't end up being another horrible nightmare.
Scared of the vacuum cleaner too?
Hey, be nice to her. She's had a rough couple of days.
But despite the positive start of episode 4, we finally learned what Ragatha truly thinks about Pomni.
Oh, she's flirting with the gummy guy, 'cause she'd rather be with an NPC than with us or something.
But even that isn't the main point here, is it? At some point, Ragatha and Pomni started feeling like a single unit, almost like a brand, and I would have bet anything that their relationship would only grow stronger over time. Of course, we haven't fully seen it fall apart yet, but the seed of doubt has already been planted in Pomni's mind, and there's no undoing that. Now, if there's someone I least expected to cause such a betrayal, it's Gangle.
Ragatha would like to help you out. Oh, Ragatha. I love her, but after a while it gets kinda hard to tell how genuine she's actually being.
And judging by Pomni's increasingly detached attitude toward Ragatha after this, it really makes you think about the cracks forming in their relationship. This leaves Ragatha with 3 characters in her circle who either don't fully trust her or hold some small grudge against her. A significant portion of episode 5 will likely focus on unpacking Ragatha's behavior, whether it's through her actions or words. We don't know for sure just yet. At some point, it might have seemed like Ragatha was actually the villain. I even made a video on that theory, but after some reflection, I realized the root of Ragatha's issues lies elsewhere entirely, and that will be the crux of episode 5. Remember this key takeaway: Ragatha is not the villain. Episode 2 serves as a sort of gold standard for understanding Ragatha's behavior. It gave us a glimpse into almost every aspect of how she handles different stressful situations. Plus, it featured one of the most mysterious scenes in the entire amazing digital Circus universe. I spent a long time puzzling over its meaning, and now it ties back to the so-called leak we mentioned earlier in this video. Gooseworx teased on Twitter, people getting attached to this evil version of Ragatha is going to make episode 5 so much funnier. It's a cryptic statement, but it might refer to Ragatha's deceptive mental state. Episode 5 won't just be about some evil Ragatha, it's going to dive deeper into her character. We'll finally see that despite all her seemingly genuine kindness and positivity, Ragatha is the most mentally unstable character in the digital Circus. This idea is backed up by hints from the pilot episode, particularly in one dorm hallway scene. At first, Ragatha behaves exactly as we've come to expect from her.
Even though we don't really need to sleep, it's sometimes nice to kind of take a break from everything and have a bit of a routine, you know? I'm sure there'll be one for... Oh, look, you already got one.
And then, chaos begins to unfold in her mind.
Crazy. And eventually you get to asking what the point of anything is, and you completely lose sight of who you are and why you're even alive, and when you reach your breaking point, something really terrible can happen.
Now we've gradually unraveled the part about Ragatha's mental state in episode 5. But let's not forget about that so-called leak, which becomes clearer once we dissect her mental state. We've come to understand that Ragatha will be deeply unsettled by her actions in episode 4. At the same time, she'll be doing everything she can to regain the trust of the other characters. Considering her special bond with Pomni, her top priority will be to hear the words spoken during one of the final scenes of episode 3.
Thanks for always being concerned about me. I feel like, through everything, I haven't really been appreciative enough about that.
That darker side of Ragatha serves as a reminder that within this character, two personalities are constantly at odds. One part of her genuinely wants to help, while the other is terrified of everything happening around her and does its best to hide it. This inner conflict will undoubtedly influence her actions in episode 5. As I've mentioned before, episode 5 is set to be sports-themed, and we've already dubbed it Digital Games. Pretty catchy, right? Even though, with a 99% probability, the entire episode will revolve around just one sport: baseball. There are two theories about Ragatha's role in the game. She could either be a coach or an umpire. That's what a referee is called in baseball, for those who didn't know. I have a feeling that the role of a coach will perfectly reveal Ragatha's personality, because only in such a situation will we truly see who she really is and how she reacts when something doesn't go her way. After all, any sports competition is filled with passion, and passion reveals a person's true face. To add more intrigue, Kane, inspired by the idea of motivation after a conversation with Gangle, might introduce some sort of prize fund that the characters would find very appealing. But remember what I said, Ragatha also needs to figure out and resolve all her issues with the other characters, and doing that during the game itself is nearly impossible. That's why practice sessions exist, where she could talk to each character one-on-one, and then we'll finally determine who Ragatha truly is: a kind-hearted character who can be trusted, an insecure woman hiding something, or perhaps just a regular hypocrite concealing something truly awful behind a mask of kindness. In any case, we'll need to wait for the new episode to know for sure. However, I feel that episode 4 was, strange as it sounds, a breath of fresh air for Ragatha, and her words to Jax confirm it.
Yo, Jax. I, hate you, but I don't want you to hate me. Is that weird?
You're drunk or something.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe she's not the most positive character, but she clearly enjoyed simply being herself rather than trying to please everyone. And I respect and value that. I once again, really hope that in episode 5, Ragatha will truly open up to everyone and show who she really is without any pretentious masks. You might have noticed that this video didn't include specific details about the new episode, and I think that's the right choice, because today, we're not talking about the plot. Instead, we're trying to understand what lies ahead for just one character, the main star of the new episode, Ragatha. And now, it's time to say goodbye.